Let's see here. Maybe we can run this over here. Maybe we can run this over here. See anything there. Nothing there. A little bit in the D, for sure. Gotta go back, check these. I don't see anything in this one. On the obverse, definitely. think that's all the Ellingtons. I think I only have 4 of them or so. Alright, now let's do some homesteads. Leaky buckets. And anything in the windows. I forgot to switch my screen. For a leaky bucket, type of dye chip down there or something off the bottom of the bucket. Any double dyeing off the top of the pump. Any arches in the windows could stand out pretty easily. And any... Hey, Cosmic Seeds. Oh, I'm not competing with anybody. I don't care if anybody even shows up in here. And looking for snow on the roof, but nothing on there. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, what's DJ doing? A 24-hour something or other? From what I saw. Leaky bucket. Nothing on the top of the pump. Nothing in the windows. Forgot to check the check. I'll verse this for real quick for any possible double dyeing. I don't know, what do we got, about 8 of these homesteads? Anything in the windows or on the top of the pump? Nothing on the roof. I don't know if there's any known double dyes in anything else. think there's any known errors in any of the lettering on the reverses. This is a P, so this is actually, I think, Philadelphia is the one that you could find the errors on, because I don't know if they're documented on the D, the Denver. Definite damage there. Up to the I in Liberty almost looks like it could have been like re-stamped or something. Remarketed. Likely not. Damage. I think I'm satisfied with that one. But we'll give it a look anyways. I have to look at my book to see if it is a P or a D that the cabin stuff is typically on. I think it's a P. Yeah, I decided to get up and fire up a couple quarters. Going through the Homestead 2015 right now. Looking for the leaky bucket on the bottom of the bucket, or a double die on top of the pump, or any of the like the arches that are in the windows, or a double die on the roof, or like a die chip on the roof, I guess is what it is. They call it snow on the roof. I think they're typically on the Philadelphia and not the Denver, so but I just got a handful. And then I got probably 40 Sacagawea dollars to do looking for the eagle, the wounded eagle, and the Cheerios eagle. I figured that'd take me about a 2-hour stream. Call it good. I don't see anything that's standing out on the obverse of this one. Good to see you this morning there, coaches. Check the reverse already for the leaky bucket and stuff. I think I did. Alright, what do we got? Another 4 of these. This is a D, so I don't believe this one's going to have it on the reverse, but I typically will look at everything. Cosmic was in here just a little bit ago. The DJ's doing a 24-hour some type of stream. I don't know if he's streaming Magic or what he's. So I'm not really competing. The way I look at it. I figured I'd maybe do an hour here and have nobody in. So being a D, I don't think we're going to see the gnome. It looks good. Top of the pump looks good. Nothing in those windows. Nothing in the upstairs window, and don't look like there's any eye errors on the roof. Another D. That's looking good. Everything looks pretty normal there. Liberty looks pretty normal. Let's check for the gnomes. A little bit of damage there on the window. Second row right side, but that's just damage. Not what we're looking for. I think most of the snow on the roof is found typically on the right side roof. That's good. Another D. So it's definitely got some rusty starting or something. Could have had a weak strike up on the United States. The gnomes. Nothing wrong with the bucket. Nothing on the top of the pump. Those windows, nothing in those. No snow on the roof. Real nice RS on the left side. There's jail on the left, on the right. One more to do, and then we'll get into the dollars. The dollars will be a quick part. Let's see what this is. Looks like a D. It is a D. As I read and research a lot of these errors, it seems like most of them are coming out of Philadelphia. I mean, there's a handful of stuff that might not be Denver's. Seems like a lot of them are coming out of Philadelphia. A little bit of damage on the bottom of the bucket, but that's not the lead bucket. Nice thing about these errors compared to like last night coaches, you're still here. I mean, they're going to stand. It's going to be, yep, it's there. All right. that is the end of the quarters, I think, for the stream. I don't know if you're still here, Coach, but we're going to go to some Sacagawea dollars. Look for the Wounded Eagle. Or the Cheerio Eagle. I'm gonna look real quick just because I want to see. That'll be the $2,000. Looking for the enhanced tail feathers. Might be a little hard to get some of it under the microscope, though. Basically the tail feathers and the Wounded Eagle. There is also something that says the reverse of the 2000P. Directly below the. Oh, I. Bit of a C there, so. Yeah, that's what we're doing next. So here's the 2000P. So either the Wounded Eagle or the Cheerios tail feathers. But we'll give a quick look under everything on the front, just to cover the bases. Trying to get into the habit of just covering the bases and stuff. I always forget to switch over to the magnifier. Can't get the so there's edge stamping on these coins on the edge of the rim that without moving the microscope up and really kind of changing everything I really can't get to, so we're looking for the P. And there's also supposed to be right under this ICA, kind of where that star is on the screen now, you could faintly find where like there's a C, like the image of a C kind of off to the right of that star. Definitely not there. Take a look at the tail. That definitely is not the enhanced tail. And I do not see any wounded eagle. Eye strike through the breast. And we're good. Alright, so we got two rolls, $20 of each to go through. This will probably take us to the end of the stream then and call it good. I don't know of anything that is you could argue there's a little double die on that L and then the I, for sure, the bottom of the I, and I forgot to switch over. Constantly do that. I could argue there's a little double die in the L and in the bottom of that I there, although yeah, it's on both sides of that base of the I, so I kind of like that. Nothing really in the B, nothing standing out in the rest of them, I guess. Definitely in the I, though. I think there's a double die in that I. And it's hard to tell if there's a little bit on that L or not, or if that's just the ridge. Cool, though. There's the little guy. Definitely not the enhanced tail. Eye strike through the body. Go check at this. See, nothing there. Looks pretty good. I'll occasionally see something on eBay that's like not documented in either the Cherry Pickers book or my other book I use a lot. You know, where it'll be like a double die, one of these stars are doubled or something like that. Not typically one of the big knowns. Here's a D, so we're gonna go pretty quick on the old D. This one, obviously, much more pocket wear on this one than in this one. You don't have the possibility of some of those errors, so we'll probably just blow by some of the Denvers. A little closer at the P's for sure, especially during lunch. Usually, just like I said, I like to look to see if there's anything that stands out on it with stuff that's not supposed to be, like no enhanced tail. No strike through the body. We didn't see up here. Another P. I'm seeing that doubling on the I on almost all of these, so not any type of error that I'd be worried about saving. cross hatching in the tail. No strike through the body. Guessing probably gonna see a shadowed C. Another D, so just give it a quick. Make sure there's nothing that. I think the reason the eye looks like that on the bottom is just the way that this colored coin ends up looking on the edge like that. Almost like a shadow. Creates like a shadow or something. Boy, look at the R on that. But like I said, I just think it's a strong strike. It's not really doubled. Although that in is significantly. I think it's a D, 2000 D. Oh, the more I look at it, In God We Trust. If you look at like the R in trust, is it just the way the light's bouncing? I mean, I can see it a little bit in the E and we. It looks strong in the I and the N in before the God. Because like the left side of the in, or the N on in, it's almost like it's way too far to the left. As far as like if that was just casting a shadow off the edge. I'm going to set this one aside just because, I mean, it's a D, so we have no shot at this other stuff. The S looks doubled too. Back to it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the S looks doubled. Like it's like the top left corner is what you're looking at, or the top left curve of the S. I think there's double dyeing in this, In God We Trust. Just because of how significant it is in that N in. I mean, if I take a different coin, let's take a coin we've already gone through that hasn't stopped us in our tracks like that. Yeah, you know, I'm seeing significant in the U on this coin and stuff. But definitely not the same style of doubling in the N and the I. There's part of me that does want to say that it's the way the shadow is casting off some of the lettering. I'm going to pull out a little ways there to just see if Yeah, I think it is. You know, I'm gonna side on the fact that it's probably the way the lighting's bouncing on the letters and stuff. Because these gold colored coins are gonna, you know, have lighting. I don't want to say issues, but probably gonna throw lighting illusions because of how much the light's gonna reflect off these letters and stuff. But now looking at this one, you know, it's significantly better for the most part. The I and in on this one, you think looks double? See, I don't see what we saw on that other coin nearly as much on this one. There's not. Yeah, that would definitely make a difference. Was this a P that we got to kind of look close at? No cross hatching in the tail. And don't look like there's any type of, maybe a little too close for the body strike. I came up a little bit easier to see some things. Investable. I didn't even realize it was you that said that eye looks doubled. I thought that was Coach's again. I was just watching the comments because Coach's was the only one in here for the longest time. Thanks for jumping in there, Investable. No body strike. Definitely nothing there. Let's check the eye and see up there. No shadow there. I mean, they say that you'll be able to see like a significant C like way down below in between those two stars. That's what you're looking there. I don't think there's really anything else to get excited about here. I'm just wondering if this In God We Trust on these coins just didn't strike well. But I'm still not seeing it as significant as that one coin, Coach, that we were looking at earlier. I mean, I think there's an argument that could be made. You know, because I mean, look at how good this I and the N is in the in. It's nothing like that other coin. I don't think I set that other coin aside. Yeah, this is the one. I mean, look. I mean, legitimately, it's the same lighting and everything. That, you know, I'm not changing anything in lighting and stuff. Look at that in. I mean, it looks decent. It looks good. And then you come down to this one that we were hemming and hawing over. Where is it? And it's off. I agree with I agree with your comment, Coach. I think it's just straight up off. I think that's a set aside coin. Or is it just not struck hard enough to be significantly like a good strike? Investable says error found. I'm almost leaning that way because I mean, if you just let's go past the I and the N in and go to God. Probably nothing in God that like stands out. But if we go to the W and the E could just be a bad strike. You know, and it could just be the edge. But boy, does that U and that R look like those edges are out farther. U and S in trust. Yeah. Yep. Because it's not just the, like, I'm gonna say this one's gonna get set aside as in error. You know, maybe have somebody that's been in this for years tell me differently, that I'm just making it what I want it to be and it's not really there. But I think all three of us agree that it is definitely not as solid as some of the other coins. There's definitely an issue with those letterings. I'm not gonna confirm it, but I think I found one that is something we weren't even looking for. Another P. That one is definitely gonna be researched a little bit more. I mean, look, I'm not changing the. It's definitely not a clean strike. No, I agree with you, Investable. Definitely not a clean strike at all. Because this is a much cleaner strike. So, you know, I'm not changing anything with the microscope, and it is literally that different from a lot of these normal coins, if you want to call them normal, to what I have on that one in God We Trust. I think we might have found something that just is kind of quirky. No cross hatching. At least nothing that's still there. And no noticeable strike through the body. So. I thought this was a D coming, but it is a P. Quick slide through the Liberty. I mean, there's another, you know, for the most part, better. I mean, you can still see a little bit. So Coaches is kind of agreeing that it seems like a double D. You know, like if I look at this S, I'm just looking to see if it changes with where you end up looking at it from. Maybe a little bit. So, like the angle that it looks at it, maybe no cross hatching. Let's go back to that coin real quick, just because I didn't do that test with it. So here we are back at the one that we're all thinking is way off. Like I said, that you can't tell me that there is not something off with that N in the word in. You know, but does it change depending on what angle the letter is in the microscope? A little bit there, maybe. So there might be some lighting tricks being played here, but I'm still going to just kind of hold it. Keep going. Because it really wasn't what we were looking for. There's a D, so. You know, like most of this. See, there's another bad one that is just kind of looking like it looks really bad on the eye, but I think you're just seeing the two sides of the edge of the eye. I don't want to spend too much time looking at ones that we don't have a shot at the reverse. I don't know why I'm even looking at the reverse, because we all know it's the it's the P that is going to be the error. There's the P. Let's just shoot over to the In God We Trust. I'm almost to the point where it's like, yeah, I feel like it's a double die, but I don't want to say it's not a trick of the lighting. No cross hatching on the tail and no strike through the body. We got another P, so do a quick scan. See, that looks like a good strike there and stuff. There's no doubt I agree with Investable, though. It's not a clean strike on that In God We Trust, on that other coin. No body strike. Another P. Good looking, you know. That's what makes me feel like maybe it is a double D, just because you get some of them that, you know, you can see clearly it's not. Where if it was always the lighting, although each coin's going to have a little bit different finish, which is going to play with the lighting a little bit differently on each coin, but strike through there. I'm just kind of burning through some of these now. Probably should still be looking at some of the lettering. Yeah, I've heard a lot of guys on different YouTube channels and stuff talk about die deterioration can end up sending you down the road of believing it's a double die. The nice thing is the cross hatching on the tail and the strike through on the body there, the wounded eagle would be easy C's if it existed. So. And those are really the errors. I know I was saying it last night, Coach. Those are the errors that I'm really looking for. The ones that are like, yep, it's there. Or, I know I said it last night too, Coach. I'm looking for that double die that it's like we're not spending 10 minutes discussing it. You know, it's like, holy smokes, that's like the well-known 55 weed penny. You know, that it's like both strikes are like completely away from each other. See, to me, that's it. This here is kind of another one of those not great strikes. Try to clean it up a little bit. I mean, that's another one that we can probably say just it isn't a great strike, which maybe makes us feel like it's a double D when it's technically, in the terms of what we're looking for, not. Last one of this $20 pile. We got 20 more to go, and I'm going to call it a stream and get these logged into the collection. I'm seeing a lot of like just pocket wear on a lot of the tails too, you know, so like even if it was there in the beginning, some of this wear, I mean, I think you'd still see it. All right, last little tube of 20. Oh, you know what? Some of these aren't. Maybe half of this tube is only going to be, because half of this tube are presidents. Can't really see it, but maybe half of this tube is presidents and half of it is. Looked like there was a Sacagawea on the bottom of the tube. We might be done. Maybe there's just one Sacagawea on the bottom of the tube. That's it. One Sacagawea on the bottom of the tube. The rest of them are the presidential dollars. So looks like they're George Washington. So let's look at this last Sacagawea. And it ends up being a D. So we're end of 2001. That's why it wasn't in that other tube. Nothing on this one. We'll take a quick look at it. So I thought we had one more tube of Sacagaweas, but it ends up to be George Washington. Maybe we just find something out of the realm of the book. Coach, do you have the books too, or? Let's see if all of these, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it. This is a 2002D. That's these are. Let's see. I'll look at the book quick, see if there's something worth looking at on these, and then we'll call it 2007 D's presidential. The other book, so the two that, when I started getting into this, the two that I went with are both the cherry pickers. You know, so like one volume's dimes, 20-cent pieces and quarters, and then the other one is the others. So I had to buy both of those to get all the coins, and then this is actually the better one that I like. So let's look. I'm gonna look in the Strike It Rich one here. This I think has got a little bit more in it than the Cherry Picker's Guide, actually. Let's look at the dollars. And see if there's anything on the 2007 George Washington. Alright, there is a Clash die on the reverse. Older book in the collection went 1797 half cent. Wow. So then did you end up being able to like price guide that one? Did you red book it? So it looks like the 2007 George Washington's got a Clash die reverse up in the Statue of Liberty. There's some stuff to look for, I guess, on the edge of them, but I'll just do that off stream because obviously there's the plain edge, no edge lettering and stuff. But we can definitely look for this die clash up on the crown of the Liberty. As long as my screen is going to, okay, there it went back. So definitely a die clash. It's supposed to be, make sure these are possibly a clash up here in the crown where there should be a noticeable extra spike. Let me look and see which spike it's supposed to be through. In between the second and third. So if it shows up, it's going to be between the second and third. So not there, but it would be right in there if we find one. So we can easily just spin through these, see if one shows up. Nope. This will be an easy, quick spin through these 19 coins, and we will call it a day. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I could sit and go through all these for double dice too and stuff, but might as well just look for what is rather than try to find something that we could look for a long time never come across. Let's just get through these. Why I'm going that far down. It's up in these. And it's nice because it's another one of those, you know what? It should just be noticeable if it's there. Ain't like you're gonna have to convince yourself it's there. I'm just spinning through all of the spikes just to make sure I'm not missing looking at the center of the one, or the two that I should be looking in the center of. Cane shaker. What's good this morning, my man? We're just on the last dozen Washington dollars here. Seeing if we can find a die clash of the extra spike. I don't know, what is my... Yeah, just over an hour, so... That is not it. Although you could definitely say that. You could mistake it for it, I guess, if you didn't know better. You could mistake it for that, too. It is not it. Alright, what do we got? Another six coins. All the way back here, but I just like spin. Yeah, for the most part, Coach, this is exactly that for me. It's an inherited collection from my grandfather that collected for years. And wow. If you didn't know better, it looks like, but it's very shadowy and it's not where it's supposed to be. So my first thing is just getting through this collection of his, which is now ours. Then I'm going to do some coin roll hunting too occasionally. But I want to get through looking at what I want to look at in these. So that'll definitely take a couple streams to do. Most definitely. Alright, last $2. Looks like anything's gonna stick out in this morning. Do we want to take another look at that Sacagawea, Coach, and debate it some more, or put it to bed? Not there. Two more packages. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, Shaker. It basically, you can scope the coins, and you're looking for certain airs and stuff. And I think this is some copper coins, if I remember right. That other one is fish and tackle stuff. Yes, I've got a roll of Indian heads, it looks like, in the safe that I will pull for one of the next streams for sure. Maybe not a whole plastic roll, but definitely some older Indian heads cents that we have to look at, that I have to see what exactly maybe we're going to look for. This is what not fire. I don't know what this is. I'm guessing this is more silver, like last night's opening. But I'll save that for another stream. That is the perfect explanation, Cane Shaker, that Coach just gave you. Yeah, there is a complete difference between errors and flaws or slash damage. And that's, I guess that's kind of what we were doing here earlier this morning, you know, especially with this coin, is we were debating. I'll go back over here. You know, we're debating on, you know, are we looking at like double dyeing here? Or is it just the flaw in the strike? But yeah, Coach has explained it perfectly. It's, you almost got to kind of get, I'm learning, you kind of got to get used to like picking out, okay, what's pocket wear, you know. I wish I had an actual like error to show you, Cane Shaker, that is an actual minting striking error, but I don't think I've hit anything yet that is really truly like a great example of one. You know, Coach, what would have been the perfect one to hit last night is one of the Wisconsin extra leafs. I was really hoping I'd hit one of those, because that's a good example of what's not damage or a flaw in a coin because it's old. That's truly, like, I think one of the good examples of like what a minting error is. It's an extra something that's not supposed to be there, if that makes any sense, Cane Shaker. But like Coach said, you know, it's something that only happens when it's struck at the mint. And then if you find one, typically there's a little bit of a premium that people are willing to pay for it. Essentially, like air collectors, which really I'm going to collect mine. So it's not like I'm going to be flipping it on eBay or anything like that. I may put some stuff on eBay that I just don't want to keep. But for the most part, you know, it's going to be like, oh, I've got this. And I'll keep it in the collection for a while. There are some errors. You're not wrong in that, Kane. There are some errors that are visible by the naked eye, like, you know, or like me just taking this, which is just the magnifier I use in my hand to look at a coin. You know, like the Wisconsin extra leaf. You'll be able to see that with the naked eye for the most part when you look at the quarters. I have them here from last night still, Coach. You know, so you could look at this coin. I could, even with my older eyes, I could look at it and be like, oh, there is a extra leaf there. So what here's the corn on the Wisconsin quarter. And what you're looking for on that particular error, Kane, is there will be a significant leaf underneath. If I remember to switch this like I should, which I never do. I'm always forgetting to do that. So here's the piece of corn on the Wisconsin quarter. Here's the one leaf off to the left-hand side. And if you find the right quarter, yeah, I just caught that, Coach. If you find the right quarter, underneath this left-handed leaf on this ear of corn, you could have one of two errors. One would be a leaf that's kind of pointed up high. I'm going to try to do this with my pointer. If I can get in here and do it. One leaf will be like coming up here, and it'll be like a significant high leaf. It'll come up almost towards this leaf that is supposed to be here. But you could get a second one that's called the low leaf, which actually ends up making a curve and coming down. And that's what you're looking for on that quarter. And I don't know, we went through 25, 30 quarters last night and didn't have one. I think I still have the Ellington. Or were you here when I was doing the Ellingtons, coaches? Well, here's a good example. We'll use the Homestead quarter for you, Kane. So there's several known minting errors on this Homestead quarter. One, you'll have what they call the leaky bucket, which will be like a glob of metal at the bottom of the bucket, down there on like the very bottom. There will be like a glob of metal on the very top of the pump. Or you could find, essentially, it's kind of like cross hatchings, but they're curves that go through these windows. There may be a couple curves through one of these windows, or a window up here, or on the top of the roof. You will find a glob of metal that was done at the mint when it was struck, and they call that the snow on the roof. So there's all kinds of things to look at on these quarters, but here, I'll zoom out because I'm essentially done searching for the day. I'm done hunting. So I'll try to zoom out. So the microscope just makes it that much easier to see all this stuff. I mean, you could even see some of this stuff this far just zoomed out in reality. I mean, you would definitely pick up the leaky bucket or the glob of metal on the bottom of the bucket. Even at this magnification, you'd see those curves in the windows. It's just nice to be able to go way, way in, you know, and look at things. You know, with an electronic USB microscope like this versus me just putting it under a handheld magnifying glass. It's just easier and things stand out a lot better. Let's look at this coin again, coaches, now that I've zoomed out to this area. This is the one we've been debating on for a portion of the morning there. Now zoomed out for a little bit different view. I think there's no doubt there's doubling on the U in trust. I mean, now that... See if you agree with me, Coach. Now that I've zoomed out to this and looking at it at this point, there looks like there's more doubling on it now than when we were zoomed in closer. The U and the S, I don't think that's just light. I mean, the R, U, and S look doubled. And the I and the N in the word in still look way, way wrong and way off. Turn it upside down. See how it goes away there? So that's why I'm like, I still don't trust the fact that it's not just a trick of the light. Let's see, still same side doubling, or did we switch the doubling? Because if we switch the doubling, it's a trick of the light. So that right now the doubling is on the long side of the R. Let's call it that. Does it change when I do this? It does. Trick of the light, in my opinion. And it's that gold color of the coin. I think I just figured out a way to really, I think by you saying turn it upside down, I think we figured out a way to figure out if it's a trick of the light or if it's actual doubling. Because actual doubling will not change. That's my opinion. I think because of these gold coins, or gold colored, I want to call them gold when they're not gold. Watch how, I mean, right there, it actually is taking any trick of the light away, I think, at that angle. Tell me if I'm crazy. And then if we turn it, we start to get a real skewed yeah, you're right. I agree. That's a perfect way of like explaining it. So I don't think it's true doubling. I think it's the color of these coins playing tricks with how the light is hitting the raised portion and almost creating like that shadow effect. I can tell that these are not going to be one of my favorite coins to look at, going forward, or any gold coin like this, if this is kind of what you got to deal with. Like I said earlier this morning, I'm going to be much more into finding the ones that just stand out and you're like, oh, that is one of the errors in the book. Rather than trying to determine if we found something that, isn't documented. Yeah, it is. And I just believe I'm leaning more towards the fact that it's truly just the play of the light. Because now I'm looking at it under, essentially this is just a piece of magnifying glass that's curved on one side and stuff, and I'm looking at it under that without lighting and stuff, and nothing is standing out like I would expect. How bad the I and the N was in the word in, that should be noticed even through this, and it's not. So that this coin definitely, for some reason, it probably goes back to what Investable was saying, where it's probably not the best strike. And then on top of the fact that it's not the best strike, you have the light bouncing around on this gold color and playing in those shadows of right next to the letters. Diffused at 45 from 10 and 2. Well, and it's hard to see. I think I probably should be using these. Let me see if I can switch screens here and show you what I think I'm going to end up doing. Because there is a remote control for this microscope, and you have to have the remote control on to run these lights. So let me pop over to this screen. So here's the microscope basically sitting, and there are adjustable. See these, they're 2 lights that you can actually do, but for them to run, I have to have the other attachment on. So I think this is essentially probably what you're talking about, is having these lights coming in at angles. Yeah, that remote, that it has like a take a picture button and stuff like that. But I'm thinking these adjustable lights will probably give us lighting. I'm going to do that. What did that do to the... I'm switching on and off my overhead, my over desk light. That's doing nothing to the quality of the view. But I do think these might actually do something for like dispersing the light a little bit better or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still on my learning curve for sure. I mean, I've learned a lot. I know what I'm looking for and stuff, and I'll know things when I see it. But stuff like we did this morning here, I think is very much like you got to learn as you go and find things that actually work in doing things. Hour and a half. I think I'm going to call it a day, because my whole thing is to pull all these coins out of the collection, out of the safe that I have them in, go through them in a error sense and a date sense and stuff like that. And then once I know there isn't something that's like a major find, I have an Excel sheet and stuff that I essentially decide to like put them into, which kind of logs the collection and stuff. So I can kind of keep track digitally as to what I have on hand. Oh yeah, yep, for sure. I mean, I've watched several YouTube guys talk about, like, there's one guy I like to watch that kind of goes over like the sales. He does it a couple times a week, and he'll go over the like listings, and more so for what it sold for and stuff. But you can tell when somebody, you know, has taken a pretty decent picture or one that just isn't good. See, and I don't like, from like a selling side of things, I don't like looking at this and, you know, because you could take a picture of this and you could essentially, I think this is believable as a double D, and you could list it as that, maybe sell it, and then it's not really it. So that's why I'm not gonna be a big fan of what we're looking at this morning, you know, especially if I have any thought of maybe moving a coin. I don't want to leave it to interpretation of the error or no error. I want the, it is there. I'm out of coffee too. Like I said, there's not a lot of these coins I'm gonna move. Most of them are gonna be checked. If I find an error, it's gonna go in one of my little holders, you know, and it's gonna go in, you know, my collection stash and stuff. So I don't really worry about truly finding something to sell, which I'm that way with my cards too, you know, so it's really no different. But if it makes any sense what I was saying, I don't like being in this situation of having to interpret whether we're looking at a significant error or not. Plus my camera that shows the microscope is about to die. Thanks for hanging out this morning there, Coach. Maybe we'll find something eventually. I do believe we will. It'll just have to be the right situation and the right coin, and we're going to be like, holy smokes, it's there. Or that is one of them. Part of the fun is just trying to find that situation. A lot like ripping packs, actually. I think that might be why I enjoy it. But I think with that, I am going to call it a morning of hunting. I kind of made a new thumbnail and stuff for these streams that are going to be strictly coin stuff. So they don't get kind of confused with my card stuff. Exactly. I totally agree, Coach. You have to look at a lot of nothing to find something. I love that saying, actually. I might have to use that. So you'll definitely now, Coach, be able to tell when I'm going live if there's going to be some card stuff or it's going to be like last night, a mix, I mean, after dark in the backwoods. It's probably going to be some cards and some coins and stuff, or something like this. The thumbnail will be like, oh, it's going to be a coin hunt for sure from start to finish. I think I'll pop off, get something to eat, refill the coffee, and see who else is maybe on doing something on YouTube. I don't know if there's anybody live right now or to pop into, or if I'm just going to end up watching some of my daily watches. Like usual, Coach, thanks for hanging out. It's awesome to have somebody to hunt with. Investable, thanks for stopping in. Cane Shaker, who was here early. Cosmic Seeds was here. I think he was the first one in this morning here for a little bit. So thanks to all you guys for just stopping in and saying hi. We will talk to you everybody later. Talk to you later, Coach.